Listen closely, because what I'm about to share with you is not coincidence. It's confirmation from the divine realm itself. And if you've been feeling that inexplicable pull in your chest, that sudden awareness of someone's energy around you even when they're miles away, then you need to hear this message right now, because God is revealing something extraordinary to you today. Someone has been dreaming about you. And before you dismiss this as just another random occurrence in the vast landscape of human consciousness, understand that these dreams have been happening repeatedly, night after night. And each time they wake up, your face is the first thing they see in their mind's eye. Your voice is the echo that follows them into their waking hours. And your presence has become so real in their subconscious that the boundary between dream and reality has started to blur for them in the most beautiful and terrifying way. This isn't the first time they've dreamed of you, but this time something shifted, something intensified. Something broke through the veil between the spiritual and physical realms with such force that they woke up with tears streaming down their face, with their heart racing like they just witnessed something sacred and life-changing. And they have, because God has been using their dreams as a canvas to paint the truth of what exists between you, what's possible, what's destined to both of. You have the courage to honor what the universe has been orchestrating all along. If you're feeling this resonance in your soul right now, take a deep breath and feel into this energy, because what I'm about to reveal goes deeper than anything you might have expected. These dreams are not random firings of neurons during REM sleep. They are not mere psychological projections or wishful thinking manifesting in night. They are divine downloads, sacred transmissions from God Himself, showing this person truths that their conscious mind might resist, but their soul absolutely recognizes and craves with every fiber of their being. When someone dreams about you with this level of intensity and frequency, it means your souls are communicating on a plane that exists beyond time, beyond space, beyond the limitations of physical separation and earthly circumstances. And in that realm, there are no lies, no pretenses, no walls built from past wounds or fear of future pain. There's only the purest truth of what exists between two souls who are designed to find each other in this lifetime. God uses dreams as a language when the noise of the physical world becomes too loud, when ego and fear build barriers so high that the heart's truth cannot penetrate through normal means. And so He speaks in symbols and feelings, in vivid scenarios that bypass the logical mind and go straight to the soul's knowing, planting seeds of recognition that will eventually grow into undeniable awareness in their waking life. This person's dreams of you are God's way of preparing them, of showing them glimpses of a reality that hasn't manifested yet, but exists with absolute certainty in the spiritual blueprint of both your lives. And whether they understand it fully or not, their subconscious is being reprogrammed night after night to align with the divine plan that has always included you. Right? I receive this message if you feel the truth of these words penetrating your heart right now. But this latest dream, oh, this one was different. This one shook them to their core, because what they witnessed wasn't just a pleasant fantasy or nostalgic replay of past moments. It was a prophetic vision, a glimpse into a future that felt more real than their present reality. And in this dream, they saw you not as you are now, but as you're becoming. They saw the fullest expression of your light, your purpose, your power, and they saw themselves standing beside you not as a spectator, but as a partner in a mission that transcends romantic love and touches something eternal and purposeful. In this dream, they experience moments that haven't happened yet, conversations you haven't had, places you haven't visited together. And there was a ceremony of sorts, not necessarily a wedding though it could have been, but a sacred union, a moment where heaven and earth witness your souls choosing each other with absolute freedom and absolute certainty. And the love they felt in that dream wasn't the anxious, grasping kind of love that fears loss and demands constant reassurance. It was the secure, expansive, cosmic kind of love that only comes when two people have done their inner work and come together not from need, but from wholeness. They saw children too, or perhaps the birth of something significant, a creative project, a shared vision, something you're meant to build together that will impact others and leave a legacy beyond your lifetime. And when they woke up, the memory of your smile in that dream, the sound of your laugh, the feeling of your hand in theirs, it all felt more tangible than the sheets they were lying in, more present than the morning light filtering through their window. And now they can't unsee it. They can't unfeel it. They can't go back to pretending this connection doesn't exist or doesn't matter, because God just showed them it matters more than almost anything else in their life right now. Since that dream, They've been completely consumed by thoughts of you. And I don't mean the casual kind of thinking where someone crosses your mind briefly and then fades away. I mean the kind of all-encompassing preoccupation where every song reminds them of you. Every sunset makes them wonder if you're watching the same sky. Every moment of silence fills with imagined conversations they want to have with you, confessions they want to make, truths they want to speak, but don't yet have the courage to voice. They'll be in the middle of a work meeting and suddenly zone out because a flash of the dream returns. They'll be scrolling to their phone and their finger will hover over your name 100 times a day, composing messages in their mind that never get sent because how do you tell someone, God showed me our future together in a dream and now I can't function normally? How do you bridge that gap between the spiritual revelation and social acceptability without sounding completely unhinged? And so they suffer in silence, carrying this massive truth inside them like a secret that's simultaneously the most beautiful and most terrifying thing they've ever experienced. Their soul recognized you in that dream in a way that has awakened something primal and ancient within them, a remembering rather than a discovering, and now their higher self is at war with their ego. Their heart is pulling them toward you while their mind lists all the logical reasons why the timing isn't right, why the circumstances aren't perfect, why they should wait or protect themselves or maintain their current life structure even though that structure suddenly feels like a prison, compared to the freedom and rightness they felt in that dream world where you existed together, without all the earthly complications. Feel this energy if you've been sensing their presence more strongly lately, if you've been having your own dreams or visions that mirror this message. And you felt it too, haven't you? Even if you couldn't name it or explain it to anyone else. There's been this shift in your energy field over the past few days or weeks. This inexplicable restlessness mixed with anticipation. Like your soul knows something your mind hasn't been told yet. Like you're standing on the edge of a significant chapter ending and a new one beginning. And you keep having these moments where this person flashes into your awareness out of nowhere. Not because you were deliberately thinking about them, but because their energy just drops into your field like a stone into still water, creating ripples that disturb your normal patterns of thought and feeling. Maybe you've been waking up at strange hours with your heart racing for no apparent reason, or you've been experiencing sudden waves of emotion that don't seem connected to anything happening in your immediate life, or you've been having your own dreams that feel significant even if the details fade when you wake, leaving only the impression that something important was communicated in the night, some truth was revealed, some agreement was made on a soul level that your conscious mind is still trying to catch up with and understand. This is not your imagination running wild. This is not wishful thinking or projection. This is the very real phenomenon of energetic communication that happens between two souls who share a deep connection. And when one person is dreaming about the other with the intensity this person has been dreaming about you, it creates a tangible bridge in the spiritual realm, a telepathic link that allows information, emotion, and energy to flow between you regardless of physical distance or current relationship status. You might have been thinking about them more than usual, feeling pulled to reach out but stopping yourself. Or you might have been receiving signs everywhere, seeing their name pop up in random places, hearing songs that remind you of them, encountering repeated synchronicities that feel like the universe is trying to get your attention and tell you to pay attention. Something is happening, something is shifting, something is coming, and your soul already knows what it is, even if you're logical. Mind is still trying to piece together the puzzle. Your guardian angels have been working overtime trying to get through to you, sending you signal after signal, sign after sign, orchestrating synchronicities and divine coincidences to confirm that what you're feeling is real, that this connection matters, that you're being called to trust something that defies logical explanation and requires a leap of faith into the unknown territories of divine timing and sacred union. The angels want you to know that this person's dreams about you are not happening in isolation. They're part of a larger divine plan that has been in motion long, before either of you became consciously aware of it, a plan that involves your highest good, your soul's evolution, and a partnership that serves not just your individual happiness, but a greater purpose that will unfold as you move forward together. They're trying to tell you to stop overthinking, to stop analyzing every detail and every potential obstacle, to stop letting past disappointments or fears about the future keep you from being present to what's unfolding right now in this sacred moment of divine revelation. Because when God decides to move, When the universe decides it's time for two souls to come together, no amount of human resistance or logical objection can ultimately stand in the way of what's divinely ordained. The angels are asking you to cultivate patience, not the passive kind of patience that's really just fear disguised as wisdom, but the active kind of patience that continues to work on yourself, to heal your wounds, to raise your vibration, to become the person you need to be to meet this connection at its highest potential, trusting that while you're doing your inner work, God is orchestrating the outer circumstances, moving pieces on the chessboard of your life in ways you cannot see but will. Absolutely recognized as miraculous when you look back from a vantage point of fulfillment. If this message is landing in your spirit right now, if you feel confirmation bubbling up from deep within, pause and say out loud, I trust divine timing, I trust this connection. But here's where the human element complicates the divine plan. Because despite this powerful dream, despite the undeniable recognition and truth their soul experience, this person is absolutely terrified right now, paralyzed by a fear that runs so deep at its roots in childhood wounds, past betrayals, generational patterns, and a lifetime of learning that love is dangerous, that opening your heart is an invitation to pain, that wanting something this much is setting yourself up for devastating disappointment. And so they're resisting. They're fighting against the very thing their soul is crying out for. They're constructing elaborate defenses and rational arguments for why this can't work, why the timing is wrong, why they need to focus on other things, why getting involved with you would be complicated or risky or impractical. They might be in another relationship that feels safe even though it's not fulfilling. Or they might be hiding behind career ambitions or geographical distance or age differences or any number of external factors that their ego is using as valid reasons to avoid the real issue, which is that loving you, choosing you, committing to what this connection could become requires them to shed every protective layer they've built, to stand naked and vulnerable before another human being and before God himself, admitting that they don't have it all figured out, that they need someone, that they're willing to risk everything they've carefully constructed for a chance at something real and deep and eternally significant. The dream showed them the paradise that's possible, but it also showed them implicitly everything they'd have to surrender to get there, every false sense of control, every illusion of independence, every wall they've built to keep the world at a safe distance. And that terrifies them because transformation always involves a kind of death, the death of who you were, the death of the life you thought you'd live, the death of safety and predictability in exchange for aliveness and authenticity, and the wild unpredictability of real love that refuses to be contained or controlled or reduced to comfortable parameters. So what are you supposed to do with all this information? How are you meant to navigate the situation knowing what you now know about their dreams, their struggle, their fear, and the divine orchestration that's happened behind the scenes of both your lives? And here's where I need you to really hear me, because your role in this is crucial, but it's probably not what you think it should be. You are not meant to chase them, to convince them, to prove your worth, to diminish yourself to make them feel safe, or to force a timeline that the universe hasn't fully prepared. Because anything built on pursuit or persuasion will be built on an unstable foundation that will crack under pressure when the inevitable challenges of relationship arise. Your role is to trust, to surrender, to continue walking your path with absolute faith that if this connection is meant to manifest in the physical realm, it will. And if it's not, then something even better aligned with your highest good is coming. Though I have a strong sense that this is indeed your person, and the universe is just making sure both of you are ready for what's about to unfold. Your job is to work on yourself, to heal your own wounds, to raise your own vibration, to become so grounded in your worth and so clear in your purpose that you're not desperately waiting for another person to complete you, but rather preparing to meet them as an equal, as a whole person ready to build something beautiful with another whole person. And this is not about perfection. It's about awareness, about being honest about your patterns and triggers, about doing the inner work that will allow you to show up in this connection with maturity and consciousness rather than neediness and unconscious wounding. Keep your heart open but your energy calm. Continue living your life fully, pursuing your passions, nurturing your friendships, building your dreams, trusting that as you focus on becoming the highest version of yourself, you're energetically calling this person toward you without saying a word, without making a move, simply by embodying the frequency of love and wholeness that their soul recognized in that dream and is desperately trying to find the courage to move toward in waking life. The divine timeline for this connection is already written in the stars, already encoded in both your soul's blueprints. And while I can't give you an exact date or a specific prediction of when everything will align, because that would rob you of the faith journey you're meant to walk and the growth you're meant to experience in the waiting, I can tell you that things are moving faster than you realize, that the universe is working behind the scenes with an efficiency and intelligence that will blow your mind when you finally see how every delay was actually divine protection, how every moment of seeming separation was actually necessary preparation, how every obstacle that seemed insurmountable was actually God's way of ensuring that when you finally come together, you're both ready to honor the sacredness of what you're building. Right now, there are puzzle pieces being moved into place. Conversations are being had in the spiritual realm. Angels are coordinating circumstances. And this person's resistance is being gradually worn down not through force, but through the persistent whisper of their soul, reminding them day after day that you are their home, you are their peace, you are the answer to a question they didn't even know they were asking, until that dream showed them what life could feel like when two people stop running from love and start running toward it with reckless abandon and complete trust. The timeline involves more healing for them, more release of old patterns and relationships that no longer serve, more internal work to get them to a place where they can show up for you the way you deserve. And while you wait, you're not being asked to put your life on hold. You're being invited to live so fully and joyfully that whether they show up tomorrow or 6 months from now, you're already whole, already happy, already living a life that's rich with meaning and purpose. And their arrival will be the cherry on top, rather than the foundation upon which your entire sense of well-being rests. Trust the timing. Trust the process. Trust that God hasn't shown you this connection, hasn't made you feel this deeply, hasn't planted these dreams and visions in both your hearts just to leave you hanging. He's preparing something beautiful, something lasting, something that will be worth every moment of uncertainty you're experiencing right now. But here's the thing, and this is what I need you to lean in close for, because this is the piece that changes everything. There's something else in that dream, something I haven't told you yet. Something that even they might not fully understand or remember consciously, but that their soul absolutely absorbed and is now carrying like a secret prophecy waiting to be fulfilled. And this particular element of the dream is so specific, so profound, so perfectly aligned with your deepest desires and your soul's purpose that when it finally comes to light, when the moment arrives for this hidden truth to be revealed, you'll understand with crystal clarity why everything had to happen exactly as it did, why the timing had to be what it was, why you had to go through everything you went through to arrive at this destined moment of recognition and reunion. This mystery element has to do with something you've been praying for, something you've been holding secretly in your heart, a desire so deep and so private that you barely acknowledge it even to yourself, and somehow, impossibly beautifully, this person's dream contained the answer, contained the confirmation, contain the divine promise that this thing you wanted is not only possible, but guaranteed if you continue to trust and walk in faith and remain open to how God wants to deliver it, which might be different from how you imagined, but will be infinitely more perfect than anything you could have orchestrated with your limited human perspective. What I can tell you is this. The next video will reveal exactly what they saw regarding your future together, what role you're meant to play in each other's lives, and why this connection exists at this specific moment in human history. Because there's a larger mission here, a divine assignment that involves both of you, and understanding this mission will completely shift how you see this relationship and your purpose for being alive right now. Everything is about to make sense in a way it never has before. So make sure you don't miss what's coming next, because the angels have more to reveal, and what they're about to show you will change everything you thought you knew about love, destiny, and why some souls are simply meant to find each other no matter what stands in their way. Are you ready for the truth?